Okay, let's hop right into it. There we go. It's time to wrap the car. This is exactly what I ordered. Again, I might black and white this out. I don't know yet. But here we go. Here's what we got for the roof. This is gloss Galaxy Black. You see the sparkles. Hopefully you guys see the sparkles. This is the 280 version of 3M. The only difference is one has a protective film on top. And then here's what we've been waiting for 4 years. Here is the orange. Oh, I'm so excited. So I'm going to introduce you to the wrapper. He's going to pretty much get started. And here's the... What happened to the carbon fiber?
It's rolled up.
You have it though?
What's that?
You have it though?
Yeah. It's
okay.
Up. It's really small. I mean, I don't really have anything substantial left. I've got a little time to grab.
Did you order more? Alright, I'll show you before. I'm going to show you in two different definitions so you guys can see it. Then it's going to be completely different. He's got to order the carbon fiber. Yeah. There we go. And then we're going to magically cut to work. Okay guys, kind of farther ahead in the wrap process, but you see the car is kind of mostly wrapped. Still got some parts to do, as you can see, but you guys get an idea of what's like going on. Now he's going to go ahead and wrap a portion. We're going to wrap one of these rocker panels on this side. We've already taken care of like all the prep work and all that stuff already, so I'm not going to show you how to prep it. I mean, go online, go to the website, see stuff like that. It's going to simply show you his wrapping technique. We're just going to do this rocker panel right here. As you can see, boy, prep the area. Of course, you will have paint chips and stuff like that. He's already sanded it down, cleaned it. So again, before you wrap any piece, make sure you prep it, otherwise the wrap's not going to stick.
For skinny, simple pieces like this, I'm just going to remove the excess a little bit right here so I can start myself. And I'll tack it on here. I made it 3 inches extra so to have some extra material to stretch around the corner. So now I have this nice and flat. I'm able to move this vinyl back and then just pull this out without it ever touching the floor or getting close to the floor, because when you get close to the floor, you'll have static that clings, that'll pick up dirt and make it stick to the vinyl. So I keep it off the ground as far as I can. Also, if you can go to the other side and show them this lip,
yeah,
I'm going to show you how to get around it.
As he's referring to is, so you guys know, you see I got a lip right here, so it's going to show you how he wraps around it.
Okay, so normally what people are going to try to start to do is they're going to get this flat area, like, okay, it's on here and it looks flat is how I like it. But you're going to start installing, like here's the high point, you're going to try to get this high point, you're going to try to tuck it inside here, and you're going to try to tuck this here. And that looks good, it's going to look great. But once you get to this part, see, we'll get around that. Once you get to this part where it has to actually, it's going to make a really bunch here. So easy way to get around that. I won't do that in the first place. I've got it there. I'm going to slightly stretch it. You see when I'm stretching it, it's making those waves I was telling you about, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to take advantage of those waves because the shape of that lip is a wave, right? So I'm going to make a wave. Just tighten it a little bit, just a little bit, like I'd say less than 10% stretch. And I'm gonna secure it to this edge. So now it's made that shape of that lip for me.
The natural tunnel.
Yeah, naturally made that tunnel because there's some places where you want it.
Yeah, because I heard tunneling was bad in general.
Right, tunneling on a flat space is unacceptable because you don't want that. But here I want it to make the shape, it literally ends in the same shape I might be very badly explaining this, but you'll see when I get to the edge that it'll be just as smooth as...
Yeah, you won't have to pinch it.
I won't have to pinch it. I won't have to try to work it into it and then have some type of fingering wrinkle situation. Or, and even if I didn't do that, I would have been able to work it into it. It just would have been more work, and it would have been a potential to leave a glue line. Constantly lifting the vinyl to work around it.
You hear about those glue lines where you can actually see through the vinyl. You'll see lines and stuff.
Yeah, you'll see the lines. The adhesive on the other side shows those lines. So if you just get it down in that first place at one, in the first go, it's a better situation for you. That has to come right back up. It was a really small one, so fine. I'm trying to get this to level out, and let me get this sharp corner here real quick.
Basically trying just to find the line to make it easier.
Trying to find this line, then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And then the rest of it will actually, with the heat gun, sink into it because the way the tunnel is. It's just gonna want to sink itself into it.
Swap over this way.
Trying to lift the top corner. And then we'll show you how to do the bottom because that one's gonna be interesting as well. Because of the carbon fiber lip you got there. So I'm pretty close to that other edge. So I'm gonna start doing stretching here. Another one right here. I mean, it's not difficult. This is definitely not the worst one, but I'd rather have it sink right into it. Because that actually, you see how it's helping me sink underneath here too, this bottom one?
Yeah,
it's going to do the exact same thing there. It's I didn't do that. It wants to sink underneath.
For all you guys like myself wondering how to get around corners.
Yeah, right. A little stretch. Not get to the end of it and then stretch because you're putting all the stretch into the end. You want the stretch to occur before you get to the end.
Oh, makes sense. Never thought of it like that.
That's just like, learning how to manipulate the vinyl. After a little while, you figure out.
As it comes with experience.
Sorry, I'm so sweaty. I sweat very easily.
Man, we're in Texas. It's hot as hell. There's nothing but heat here.
Bro, those guys on YouTube showing me their, premium auto styling and all that. Those guys looking cool as a cucumber in there.
ACs.
This would have been like it literally is wanting to go into that current corner.
That's freaking awesome. Actually, you can kind of see it's like starting from right here.
So if I was working into it, like when it was flat, it would have had like some bunches, and I would have been able to get past them. That's fine, but I just don't like what those bunches represent or what they could represent in the future. Glue lines, possible lifting. If you've got the vinyl nice and relaxed, like right here at this corner where it's going to go into, that's its natural position. It's going to tuck in there, and it's going to, but if it's all punchy like this at the corner, it's going to go into the corner like that. Your knife is going to cut across it like that. It's not a very desirable outcome.
Now I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'll say something, guys are going to say, he makes it look easy.
Yeah, after a little while, you can move through it real quick. That's for sure. So here we're reaching that end, and I'm going to show you how there's not even going to be a bunch there. It's just going to want to suck right into it. No bunch whatsoever. A bunch, that's a good word to call it. Like a bunched up piece of, imagine taking a flat piece of paper and trying to wrap over an edge. I'm lifting this back up because it goes in and it comes back up towards me.
The door, you got the door.
Right. So this area is coming back towards me. So I have to see. That's the customer that was supposed to be here. Okay, you see how this is the end of it. It already tucked around that corner.
Yeah, I see it. You can kind of see it.
I mean, I haven't even laid it down there. I haven't even touched the vinyl there yet. It just already is there. And so I'm going to rub my finger across it to make sure, it's down for sure. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to make a very small stretch to where I'm not going to work it into that corner. It's going to work itself into that.
And then you use the heat to tighten it up.
And then the heat to secure it.
And notice he hasn't used the heat gun one time.
Not yet. The heat should be the very last thing you use on any part. I'm actually going to use it here to make it tuck, and you're going to actually see how it sucks into it a little bit inside. Thank you. It's going to want to go on its own. Let me prep it right here, though.
And don't worry, guys, I will show you a 4K version of some of this, the bottom portion.
Nice. Okay, so you see where that's starting from? It's starting from this where I actually, slightly overstretch it to here. You see how it goes all the way over there?
Yeah.
So that's causing that to go into this recessed area. And then once I heat this up, I'm actually going to tuck this down a little bit further real quick. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to tuck this. I stretched it down just as much as I could without actually stretching it. I corrected it. I flattened it out. That's all I did. Flattened it out. Didn't stretch it into place, just flattened it because it wasn't so flat.
Use the heat.
Use the heat here. You see how it's just changing? You see how I just stuck to it? You'll be able to see that in the replay. I love watching that. So it just sucked into that corner.
And now he's just, see.
And then now it just goes in there, and you've got just a very minimal little bit of, I wouldn't even call it that, because tunneling is like a problem that you're left with. This is something you're working through.
Tunneling is bad.
Yeah, tunneling is definitely not good. So this is done. And let me finish that up and you get a close up so you can see that there's no glue lines or anything like that. I've got a flashlight as well. And this is where it would happen. So they would put it there, they would try to work it into there, and you'd have a bunch of glue lines here. It'd be the most disgusting horror show. I don't like, some people, they lift this up and they'll work through all this. If you just make it nice and, your final, like look at that, that's glass pretty much.
That's big enough.
So now you just lay it down, no chance for possibly getting a wrinkle that you have to work out, and that will leave a glue line or something.
So there's working it in there like that.
Tiny piece, right, not working it in at all, definitely not working it in. So this one's already, you see that's a little bit tight right here. It's just gonna tuck right inside that one as well. Let me tell you guys, you gotta be careful, especially in this hot type of temperature. When one panel's touching a done panel, you could actually lift up the existing one if you're not very careful. So like don't rub the squeegee on this part. Like it could touch and it's still on there stuck hard, but don't ever install this part because in the heat, like it'll look like disgusting. Yeah, and then you'll have to replace the panel. So I've got this up all the way to the edge. And I'm just gonna use a little heat to make it suck in place because of that extra stretch I did there.
You kind of see the line.
There we go. Yeah, you saw them, they just went away. First of all, the lines just went away. And then tuck this top corner right here. I'm gonna get the highest part first.
You're on this side. There you go, back side.
I'm gonna get this top first, and look at that, it just falls right into it without any stretching. Like what, look at that, look at the other end of where I'm gonna cut, how flat it is.
Nice.
So it's not, there's no over tension there. So if that's already flat like that, you know that there's nothing that's going to cause problems in the future.
You can almost see where he's going to cut.
Like even this, right, yeah. Even this is going to be the same way. It's going to just tuck right in and it's going to be flat on the other end. And that's because of the, man, it's not stretching, let's call it a 5% stretch. You just 5% stretch it more than, you would lay it on flatly, and that'll get it to hug around all these types of bodies. It's the same technique I use when we go around corners.
Yeah,
we'll stretch it a little bit so that it can fall underneath itself, and then you're not working, I'm not working this corner here, right? I'm not working this corner. I'm going to stretch it. Watch this. And you see how it's so much better now, rather than me trying to take this, get it back to original size, and me trying to work this here, work this here, work this here.
That's too much.
You'll end up with one wrinkle on one side, whereas when you're stretching it over, and I could even do this minus heat, you see how it already wants to make this curve right here?
Yes.
So when I cut it, this part's gonna fall down. Watch that, you're gonna love this too. Stretch it out. So once again, like you see how it's got the top of the stretch, I'm gonna repeat the same stretch at the bottom, just a little bit, just a tiny bit, and now when I use the heat here, it's gonna sink in. Oops, I have to fold this back because of that lip. There we go.
So, looking like right there.
Yeah, that right there is gonna disappear, all those waves are gonna disappear. And it's going to sink in. Because you saw how it's going up into the recess, up into it. So now, since it's so flat,
the natural bend there.
Yeah, just take that.
And that's what he's talking about. You got it's a natural bend. He didn't have to bottleneck it or anything. That's pretty awesome.
And this is actually even crazier than the one on the other side, because you see how deep this one goes in right here?
Yeah.
This one's way deep. And look at that, look at that recess down there. Go down real low, how flat it is down here. Not a single wrinkle.
That's good.
And I actually haven't even worked it, bro. I just put my squeegee here, that's it.
That's how you want
Working it is like, constantly going at it to get into, make it fit into a shape that the vinyl is not in the position to be going into. That's working it in. Laying it in is a different story. Just rubbing your squeegee across it. There's a little bit I haven't touched it here. This edge, I didn't lay it down here yet. Let me make sure that's down. This edge is down.
That was a small squeegee too.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. Just make sure that's down before I go back underneath. And use a little bit more heat. Let's see, I just want to make sure the whole raised area is down.
We're starting to see the size cut. We're starting to see it.
Oh, yeah, I love that size cut. It's probably one of my... I just like how it looks like. I've seen ones on Porsches and Ferraris that look just like that. So
it's actually what they call Mugen. Because I know someone's going to ask what kind of size cuts. Well, you guys should know, but if you don't know, actually Mugen size cuts from the Mugen version of the Civic in Japan. But they're made for a two-door, obviously.
Damn, this one's actually crazy. And look, all the way underneath, it's still nice and flat. I'm gonna make my cut once I get all the way to this point.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised. Like, so many people would be pushing this way, and then using their squeegee, trying to jam it inside there and get rid of the thousands of wrinkles that inevitably show up. But this, with that tiny little stretch, all I'm doing is I'm putting it this way. You do not see me use my fingers once at all to stretch it out this way. All I'm doing is I'm lifting it so that I can stick it back underneath. That's it.
Sorry about the noise.
I impressed myself actually right now. So.
Not bad, it's pretty cool. And you saw it, you already walked the top, you can see it. But it's starting to get, you start to kind of see the size cut through it.
It's good to go in the sideways motions if you can. And then once you can't anymore, then you make your I'm actually going to show you the wrong way on the other side real quick because I want you to understand how hard it is when you do it the wrong way. Look at that, all the way underneath there. Like literally the only tiny waves were because it went into a recess, right? A different triangle.
That's what you're
like it's insane.
Nice.
This is probably the most aggressive lip I've done before.
Good. Practice.
For, newer model cars, things are really geometric, flat. Now all the new cars, everything's real flat. Like they hardly do these aggressive rounded edges. Look at that, you see that edge one just tucks right underneath exactly where we need it, so we'll make our cut from left and right.
Cool.
Can't ask for anything better than that.
It helps to have good vinyl too.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell your viewers right now, that's why I don't like Vivid. I'm sorry, but that stuff is too thick, and I can do the same quality on the edges and make them nice and smooth, but I need to remove panels for sure on that because it's so thick. I need to have a good grasp of the whole area to wrap it. Like this material is so thin, I can make perfect curves and corners without removing panels.
This is 3M, by the way.
But Vivid is way too thick. You have to, like bumpers and all that, if you don't remove them, it's going to look disgusting. The corners and edges, in my opinion. Some people, you'll be surprised what I see rolling around town. Oh wow, they think it looks great, but different standards, I guess. Just trying to get it from sticking to this real quick. So I can tuck it underneath here.
It was to tuck it underneath. The actually having the side diffuser actually help out.
Yeah.
Help hold it.
It hasn't been too much work, that's for sure. Too much more work. And look, guys, I know, learning vinyl, left, right. When you've been doing it for a lot of years, you find that either you're not in, a comfortable position to continue to make those type of strokes, but you know what stroke not to make. And as long as you know what stroke not to make, you don't have to critique someone's left and right, because dude, you wrap a full car, you don't have all the proper, benches, car lift and all that. I know how to move my squeegee and make sure that I never end up with a wrinkle in it. And you didn't see one, right? So
No.
it might not look orthodox every way when I'm doing this, but I'm not recommending you do that as a first timer. But just know that when I'm doing it, I know what I'm doing. It's with care. Like there's none of them anywhere. So we're gonna trim that here real quick, turn